Hello everybody, this is TipTop MTG here today with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, I am going to be breaking down the first spoilers, official spoilers, from Zendikar Rising. So, we've known a little bit about Zendikar Rising, we've gotten some hints, which I've talked about in the past, we've gotten a kind of teaser, which I talked about Monday, and so today, we have two Planeswalkers from the set, and so the first one here is going to be Jace Mirror Mage, and it's honestly a very interesting Planeswalker, and we'll look at his design in a second, but yeah, we have Jace Mirror Mage and Nahiri. So yeah, we have Nahiri and Jace, so why don't we break down Jace first? So these were revealed on Twitter by Jimmy Wong and Becca, Plays Games. And so, yeah, that's the source for these, if anyone was wondering. They're both here to advertise an event happening next Tuesday, that being September 1st at 8 a.m. Pacific time. If you guys don't want to watch that, because they're often filled with fluff and, you know, all of that, I will be doing a video on that day breaking down all of the details, so if you miss it for some reason, if you don't want to watch it, if just any of that, stay tuned for my breakdown on the first. So yeah, why don't we first break down this? So basically they say Jimmy Wong and Becca Scott are going to be doing, you know, an exploration event. Basically they're going to be the ones announcing it, is what I'm 99% sure, but why don't we look at Jace himself? So Jace Mirror Mage is a 3-cost blue legendary planeswalker Jace. It is 4 loyalty, and we're going to talk about its kicker here in a second. So it has a +1 and it says Scry 2. So very boring +1. And then it has a 0. Draw a card and reveal it. Remove a number of loyalty counters equal to that card's converted mana cost from Jace Mirror Mage. So you're going to draw a card and then show your opponent what you drew. And then say it's a 3 CMC card. Say you drew, I don't know, you're in Historic or something, and you draw an Narset. I don't know why I can't come up with anything else. He would lose then 3 loyalty, bringing him down to 1. But, you know, that'd be kind of a generic, boring Planeswalker. What makes this one interesting is that it has a kicker, which confirms that kicker is one of the mechanics returning in Zendikar. Kind of. And we'll talk about what I mean by kind of here in a second. But it says when it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, create a token that's a copy of Jace, except it's not legendary and its starting loyalty is 1. So, yeah, essentially, you can pay either 1 blue and get 1 Jace, or 3 blue and get 2 Jaces, which I think is really interesting. If you need to get this down early game, well, just cast it for 3, but if you're later game, well, you can get double the value. Now, obviously, its starting loyalty is only 1, which means that if you 0 it, it's almost always going to die unless you draw a land. So, generally what's going to happen is if you pay 5, you're going to scry 2, which then lets you kind of arrange the draw card however you want. So if there's a card you don't want to reveal to your opponent, if there's a card that has like 7 CMC, you can maybe put it 1 card under so that Jace draws you the lower CMC card. So there's lots of interesting things you can do with this, and honestly, it looks really fun. It's kind of interesting that they're not legendary. If we're looking at this from like a brawl perspective, this could be an interesting commander. You know, you kill the actual commander and he's going to come back kicked, maybe. Obviously, it starts getting expensive, but then you get more copies and you can do lots of awesome stuff with it. So I really like the design of it. Now, I did say maybe this confirms kicker. Now, in my predictions video, I said I think kicker or multi-kicker is coming back, and I think that this is pretty much confirmation, but there has been multiple times in even the past year or two where they have had mechanics on a Planeswalker, and that is the only place they're found. Most recently, that was on Teferi in Core Set 2021, having phasing, and it was the only card in the set to have phasing. Going back a little bit further, we have Tezzeret from War of the Spark that had affinity, that granted affinity for artifacts and all that to your Planeswalkers and your creatures. So we've had abilities that are only on certain Planeswalkers, so I think this pretty much confirms it, but it does not guarantee it. Now, they do also show the, the full art version of this card, and I think it's very interesting. It looks like an evil Jace, but yeah, just here's what it will look like. I like it. I think it looks pretty awesome, and it's an interesting Planeswalker design. It's not just another Jace where ready +1, draw a card, -2, tap something, -8, I don't know, counter spells. That's like what Jace tends to do, and so this is an interesting little way to encapsulate Jace. Now, second, we have Nahiri, and so we have Nahiri, Heir of the Ancients. It is a legendary Planeswalker Nahiri for loyalty for 4 in Boros, and you can +1 it to create a 1/1 white core warrior creature token. You may attach an equipment you control to it. So, yeah, this is interesting with any equipment that costs, a very small amount to play, but has like a huge equip cost. I think we have one of those in standard with like Colossal Hammer that like is a 1-drop that gives +10/+10, but it costs 8 to equip. Unfortunately, that's rotating out when this comes in, but in something like Historic or Pioneer, that could be an interesting little combo. -2, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a warrior or equipment card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So +1, create a blocker. -2, basically draw a card in Boros. That's pretty awesome. And then -3, so you can kind of ultimate her as soon as she hits the battlefield. It deals damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to twice the number of equipment you control. So a nice little removal spell. I like the design of this planeswalker because it's not just like Jace, where Jace is very generic. I could throw Jace in any mono blue deck and it wouldn't feel out of place, but I can't throw Nahiri in any Boros deck. If I threw this in some sort of feather, instance matter deck, this does next to nothing. You'd create 1/1s, one a turn, and that's all this card does if you don't have equipment. So this definitely goes in an equipment deck. I think it would be an interesting commander for something like Brawl, and yeah, I like the design of it. Generally, it's just not a one size fits all. Here, this goes in every Boros deck. And then looking at the, full art version, here it is. So yeah, I generally like the design of the card. What else can we learn from this? Well, we learned that there's 280 cards in the set. We confirm, I don't know if this has been confirmed before, ZNR is the set code for it. And I think what else is confirmed here is that there will be a slight equipment theme. They're not going to throw this in here and not have equipment in here. If you look at standard right now, there is very, very, very little equipment in the game, so it'll be nice to see a nice influx of that, and maybe something interesting can happen with it. So yeah, those are our 2 spoilers. Now, quickly before we go, I'm just going to insert this into the video now because there was a little bit that I figured out slightly after finishing filming this. So if we look at the numbering of the borderless planeswalkers, you will notice that it goes 281 Jace, 282 Nahiri, and we know that there's one other planeswalker, and that is Nissa. Now, Nissa should come after Nahiri, but the thing is, how they do the numbering system is Wooburg, then multicolored, and all planeswalkers are grouped together in the front of that numbering system for the above the set limit number. So if there's no number here, the planeswalkers come first. And we saw this with Ikoria, where Vivian came before Narset, because Narset was multicolored and Vivian was green, and green comes before multicolored. So the point I'm trying to make here is if Jace is 181 and Nahiri is, if Jace is 281 and Nahiri is 282, then that means the only spot open for another planeswalker is 283, which would have to be a multicolored card because, well, we already passed the place where mono green could be a thing. Like, if Nissa was mono green, it would be after Jace, so it would go Jace, Nissa, Nahiri, but because of the numbering on these cards, it shows us that Nissa is going to be multicolored in this set. So yeah, that's kind of what you can take away from it based on their past history, unless they're changing how their numbering works so it's just now alphabetical, which they could, because Nahiri does come before Nissa, but yeah, that doesn't leave room for a mono green planeswalker in the set. So it looks like Nissa is going to be, following what some of the leaks are saying, and she's going to be either Golgari or something Simic-y. So yeah, I just thought I'd insert that. Why don't we move right back into the video? There are 2 cards. I will, again, be seeing you on September 1st, where I break down everything they announced. If you guys enjoyed and found this video useful, please hit that like button. Leave a comment with your thoughts on both of these planeswalkers. Do you think one of them is wildly overpowered? I don't know. It's kind of interesting that neither of them have an ultimate. They're both kind of just utility planeswalkers, which is kind of nice. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.